My name's Felicia and I like scary movies. It is currently the perfect fall day in New York, like so freaking like chilly and cozy, and my dog is snuggled up in my blankets on my bed right now, and I'm so jealous. But here's the thing, 31 videos in 31 days is a little intense, but I am loving every second of it. Like I mostly love in the comments, like me getting to like talk to you guys every single day. That is like my favorite thing ever. But today in particular is like such a cozy fall day. Like all I want to do is just like have some like noodle soup and snuggle and like watch a movie. But no people, we have work to do. I'm gonna film a bunch of videos right now, mostly because this coming weekend I'm going to New Jersey Horror Con. If you're gonna be there, send me a tweet or something, I don't know, a comment, anything, so we can say hey. But I'm gonna be there with Lauren. We're gonna be doing interviews again, and I'm very excited. It's at the Showboat Hotel in Atlantic City. Anyways, today we're talking about In the Tall Grass. So this has been one of the anticipated Netflix releases. It was written and directed by Vincenzo Natali, who I looked up his work. I haven't seen much of it. He's done a lot of TV stuff, and he also directed a TV version of Tremors, which I was like, what? It's from 2018, and I was like, what is this? How do I not know about this? So I'm gonna watch that later. But this is based off the novella written by Stephen King and his son Joe Hill. Joe Hill is his pen name. I was almost gonna say screen name, like AIM. Okay, but he goes by Joe Hill, I think, to sort of separate himself from his horror icon of a father just a little bit. But they did write this together. I think it premiered in Esquire magazine in 2 different parts, and it was also called In the Tall Grass, and it was, I know, a novella, a shortish story. So I was excited about this for a couple of reasons. One, because Patrick Wilson is in it, and anything spooky with Patrick Wilson, like, I'm gonna watch it. And also I just felt intrigued, because I felt the same intrigue that I felt with the Netflix version of Gerald's Game, where I was sort of like, how are they gonna do this? How are they gonna make this one concept last for an entire movie? And in The Tall Grass, I felt the same way, because the basic premise is people go into this tall grass, like a sort of, if you think about a giant cornfield, it's that, but like grass. Does that make sense? Okay. And because of something supernaturally, basically everyone is wandering around, they can't find each other, and they can't get out. They can't get out of the tall grass. The grass is sort of tricking them in different ways. So about 20 minutes in, I had to pause because I was hungry, and classic me, and I had to go get food, and then I came back, and while I was getting food, I was like, I feel like the movie already happened in that 20 minutes. Like, what else is there to do? What else is gonna happen? And so I came back to it, and in certain ways, I was pleasantly surprised about some of the things they brought in, but in other ways, I was like, this would have made a great short film. And in Gerald's Game, I didn't feel that way. Like, I know I shouldn't compare it as 2 different directors, 2 different writers, but both Stephen King adaptations, so that's why I'm talking about it. But it just sort of like really captured me and held me on for this ride for the entire time so well. And In the Tall Grass, I guess, I don't know exactly what it was, but I felt like it was just a really drawn out movie. For a little more detailed plot than I just gave, the basic story is that we have 2 siblings, Becky and Cal, and they are driving because Becky is going to give up her baby for adoption. She has gotten pregnant. They're on their way, and as they're driving by this very tall grass, they hear a little boy yelling for help. And so they get out of the car, and they hear the little boy asking for help. And in the novella, I think it's a little bit more clear that you have a mother character yelling from the grass as well, saying like, don't come in here, don't come in here. And in the movie, it wasn't as clear. Isla de Oliveira, who plays Becky, she does say something about like she thinks she heard the mother in there or something, but it definitely is less clear in the movie version, which I'm sure they did intentionally. So the little boy, by yelling for help, tricks the couple into coming into the tall grass, and they get stuck. So anyone that comes into the tall grass is gonna get stuck in the tall grass. How many times can I say tall grass in this video? Is anyone playing a drinking game? Should you be playing a drinking game? I also did get a pumpkin cream cold brew from Starbucks on my way home. And I have already had like 6 of these this fall, and that is not good, but they are so delicious. It's so freaking good. I think where this movie went a little bit wrong for me is that when they were taking this very short story and turning it into a movie, it feels like they took all the ambiguous out of that story and really over-explained a lot of things in the movie, which I sort of didn't need. Like, that's sort of one of my pet peeves of horror, is if someone tries to like over-explain something supernatural to me. Like, I am in for the ride. Like, I don't need to know why time is weird in there. I don't need to know what's luring them in there. I just want to be more with the characters through their experience versus sort of the why. And in this, it's got this sort of mix of the supernatural, and they bring in a lot of like religious elements in as well. I don't know. I guess my main thing, I just feel like it could have been a short film, and I know that's like not my place to say, and I because there were things I loved about it, and when I get to the spoilers, I'll tell you sort of my favorite moments of this movie, because there were a few that I really thought were great, but it just felt very drawn out to me. And the other thing, and I kept trying to like check my TV lighting to be like, is this me or is this the movie? But in the nighttime scenes, sometimes it was so dark I literally couldn't see what was happening, particularly in one like gross out moment that I literally had to like make sure I knew what I was seeing, because it was so dark. And not because, and maybe that was the intention for you to like not really know, but I feel like I was just annoyed and being like, I can't see, like what's happening? So I don't know, maybe it was my TV. Let me know if you had that experience of it just being too dark and you couldn't see anything. I don't know. Oh, and I loved the little boy, the boy that played Tobin. His name is Will Bew Jr. He was adorable, and I thought a very good little actor and did a great job. There's also a character in this named Travis, played by Harrison Gilbertson, and so there's a lot of like yelling the name Travis, and if you don't know, my boyfriend's name is Travis, and so it just kept being like this woman be like, Travis, Travis, and Travis wasn't home, and I was like, this is like very strange, like my brain, because I typically don't hear a lot of characters named Travis. Like, I don't hear a lot of characters named Felicia, so it was just sort of like disorienting in this weird way. This review is not a review. I don't know what I'm talking about right now. But anyways, like maybe this wasn't the best film of the year or anything like that. I don't think it's the best thing I've seen on Netflix this year. But if you have a night and are looking for something to watch, it definitely has some cool moments in it. And it has some pretty good acting. And yeah, I would say I would averagely recommend this to you. But if you're a big Stephen King fan, like obviously watch it, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it, especially if you read the novella. It'll probably be exciting to you. Now, let's do some spoilers. The first, okay, I have a couple of best moments. The first best moment for me was when the brother and the sister, they've lost each other in the tall grass. Here we are again, tall grass. And they decide they're gonna jump up in the air to see each other, to see where they are. And they do the jump, and they see each other, and it's like, okay, they found each other. And they jump again, and suddenly the brother is like way further away than he was a second ago. And it's just this very disorienting moment for the characters that I thought was like very, very smart. And then the moment I was mentioning earlier is there's a moment where basically Becky is fed her own baby. And I know that sounds like so gross, but that was the moment that it was so dark that I was like, hello? Are you eating a baby? And then I like looked at him, I was like, what's the plot of this? And I was like, oh, she was eating a baby. And it's like totally gross. But that was definitely an interesting moment, because it felt so different in terms of tone than the rest of the movie. But I didn't think that was a bad thing. I thought it was just like, you know, it was kind of fun. And then just the ending, I love the moment of Tobin getting out, and then he runs to try to warn Becky and Cal from going in the first place, because time is used in a very interesting way in this movie and novella, where time is different for everyone, and everyone's timelines are all over the place, and it's very cool. Like, that part of it is very cool for sure. And I definitely liked how the ending worked out in terms of timing. But yeah, I guess that's all my thoughts on it. But if you've seen it, let me know down below. Also, let me know if you have other Stephen King adaptation recommendations, specifically ones that are not like the big ones, like besides It and The Shining, things like that. What are some of the smaller ones that you guys would recommend to me? I'd be very curious to know. So let me know down in the comments, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Have a nice screen. Bye.